Hey, what's up? So I haven't streamed in a while, and I got I got a little. I'm excited. I got something in the mail that I wasn't expecting for another month, probably another month. I just put together a new PC. First time I've put together a whole PC. I kind of took apart and rebuilt the last PC. Did my camera really just do that? Professional setup. So, I got the thing in the mail, built a new PC. Hopefully it looks a little bit better, runs a little bit smoother. I tested out capturing through, I kind of rerouted all my wires, set up a capture card with a splitter so everything just goes into it all at the same time. That's about it. I think first we will open the box. Now, in my last videos, this has been sitting. There you go. This has been sitting kind of on my desk in the background of some of the shots. And I don't know if you can make it out what it says, but some of you might recognize it. It's a Virtual Boy cart. Virtual Boy. I had one for like a few hours. And, you know, my parents came home. I think my grandfather had bought it with me. And I came home, I was playing it. And my parents came home and they saw it. And there was all this stuff in the news that it gives you migraines and it's bad for your eyes and all that stuff. And it immediately went back to the store. And the whole... I remember playing it for just a few hours, and I've wanted one ever since. And I put it off for a long time because they're ridiculously expensive, like outrageously expensive for what they are. And I finally decided to get one, and I ordered it with a couple other things, some other cool stuff, and I ordered it all from Japan. It's a big company. You probably know what shipping company I used if you've ever used a proxy server or a proxy purchasing to buy from like Yahoo auctions and stuff like that. My second experience, this one, wasn't as good as the first time. The first time I used it, it was really good. Prices were pretty good at the time. The shipping wasn't too bad. This time, the prices were not that good, and I kind of feel like I should have just bought everything on eBay, even stuff from Japan that's on eBay. I probably would have ended up paying about the same. But you live and you learn. So, let's get into the unboxing. So we've got my overhead cam. Let's move some stuff. Scoot this back. Scoot this over. Now, I was expecting this box to be a little bit bigger, but nothing I bought was in box. Everything was loose. So, I'm a little bit nervous, but we'll see how it goes. Another cut across the top. Careful not to go too deep because I don't want to... I'm not sure how everything's packed in there. Oh, okay. Layer bubble wrap. So, the meat and potatoes. Let's get to this guy first. And then we'll get back to all the other stuff after. Because this is what I've been excited about. There it is. So, if you've never seen one before, the way it works is that there's two little LCDs. Now, they're not these. These are kind of just lenses. And there's mirrors that are spinning back in there. And then there's a couple LED displays that reflect off the mirrors. And it's just stereoscopic, kind of 3D, not really. Here, let's put this up. And so basically there's a stand, and it should be in the box too. And you would put it on the stand, and it's on the desk, and there's a controller, you're holding it in your hand, and you just lean into it like that. And it seemed really cool at the time to me growing up, and I wish I had it still originally. I wish I had gotten to play with it longer. But I got other stuff instead, and it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. I mean, honestly, it is kind of terrible. But it's terrible in an endearing way. And I'm really happy I have it now. I actually got some updated ribbon cables that you take the LEDs out, and there's cables that connect, and here's my cat. Yep. And there's cables that kind of dislodge themselves from the circuit board on the screens, and they're notorious for coming apart, and it's called the virtual ribbon. Might just be the virtual ribbon is the repair kit, and it just replaces those with solid PCBs and a new style ribbon that actually has a connector instead of being glued on to the board, which is what it is originally. Well, let's put that off to the side. That's a project for another day. Let's get back in here. Here we've got a Game Boy Advance. I had gotten the notification when Boxypixel was doing the prototype runs for the aluminum SP, the hinged one, not the unhinged. And I wanted a metal Game Boy, and I tried to get it, but the second it went up, the prototypes, they were already gone. And I guess it's kind of lucky, because I already have a modded GBA SP, and I don't have a modded Game Boy Advance. So I bought the metal shell for the Game Boy Advance, and then I bought this one. It's listed as junk. A lot of stuff in Japan gets listed as junk, even if it's partially working or works a little bit. I wasn't too concerned because I'm going to put a new screen in it. I'm going to take the shell off. The only thing is, if it doesn't boot, I'll have to fix it. If it doesn't turn on, I'll have to fix that. But I'm pretty confident that I can get it working. I may have bought more than one. I don't remember, but this one was kind of a glacier. It's really faded. I've got the aluminum shell that I'm replacing it with, so that's not too big a deal. Game soft. So I think this is going to be a Virtual Boy game. Should be a Virtual Boy game. I don't want to tear it, but I guess I will just have to tear it. We'll just tear it along the top right here. I bought a bunch of Virtual Boy games because I didn't have any. This one looks like it's Telero Boxer, which is a cool kind of fighting game. It's basically like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but a video game. It's probably one of the better games on the Virtual Boy. Yeah, excited to play that with my new Virtual Boy. I'm not sure how I would show you guys that. I mean, I guess I can set up a camera and just kind of like point it at one of the lenses. I'm not super interested in doing a video output mod on it. I like to have at least one console stock, and Virtual Boys are expensive. It's definitely something I went a little overboard on my budget, but I wanted it. Here we've got a Game Boy. This is actually for a coworker. He has wanted a backlit Game Boy for a while, and he asked me if I could put one together for him, and I said sure. I've got a big order going from Japan. Might as well pick up a Game Boy Color. I believe this one was also listed as junk but working. So it's a nice color. He's still debating on whether he wants to keep this color or to switch it out for a different color, since we're going to have to replace the battery cover anyway, and I don't know if we'll be able to find... I'm sure this is faded from its original color. It's a nice color. I don't know that I've seen one this color in the US. I don't think it's a Japan exclusive. They had most of the colors. I mean, it might be the color of this R. You can see it right there. This feels like the AC adapter for the Virtual Boy. Yeah, just the AC adapter. This actually doesn't plug directly into the Virtual Boy. It plugs into the controller, because that's where it gets its power. So here's the controller for the Virtual Boy, and if you've never seen one, it's kinda cool because it has something that didn't come about until much later, and that's dual directional inputs. It's got 2 D-pads, which kind of is a precursor to dual analog sticks, because after this there was the N64, and that had 1 analog stick and 1 D-pad, but they were both set up to be used with kind of your left hand. This one was explicitly set up 1 D-pad here, 1 D-pad here. You've got A, B, start, select. This is your on-off switch, and then here's the battery pack / AC adapter. Now, so that AC adapter plugs in right here. And you just lock this down so it doesn't unplug while you're playing. There's also 2 buttons on the back, and this slides off. There's also a battery pack that you can get for this. I don't remember if the one I ended up buying had a battery pack or not. Here's the stand. Let's get it out. And I'll stand it up in a little bit once we're done going through the box, just so you can see what it looks like on its stand. But yeah, it just clips onto the bottom of it. Tighten it down so it doesn't rotate. Legs spread out like that. Sits on your desk. Let's make some room up here. So here, we've got another, pretty sure it's another Virtual Boy game. Yep. This one's V Tetris. There were a lot of different versions of Tetris. This one, I think, is the one that has a 3D mode. They all have a 3D mode. One of them has like a special mode where you're like doing Tetris on a cylinder. It's like a column instead of being just a flat plane. It might be a different one where you're coming down into like a cube. There was a couple different versions. I can't remember which one V Tetris was. This was an impulse buy. and it was actually the first thing I bought. If you grew up in the 90s, then you might recognize this. I recognized this as soon as I saw it. I had only played with one time before, and that was at my cousin's house, and it's called Lights Out, and it's just a Tiger Electronic handheld game. You start the game, some of them are lit up, some of them are off, and it's kind of like Minesweeper-ish. If you push one, you will switch its status, but it also switches the status of the ones around it. So if this one's off, you want it to be on. The goal is to get them all on or all off. I don't remember. It might be both. There might be different games, different settings. Oh, games. It's kind of a puzzle. But let's say this one was off, and this one was on, and this one was off. If you hit this button, this one will turn on, this one will turn on, but this one will turn off. So the point is to get it so they're all the same, either all on or all off. I think it plays both ways depending on what you select as you're starting. This was listed as non-functional, but I really couldn't see anything on the outside there's no corrosion in the batteries. It seems like it should boot up. Obviously, if something's wrong inside, it won't work. But, there's not a whole lot in there. It's a light, probably a single logic chip, and resistors and stuff like that. Not a light, it's a bunch of LEDs. So we'll open that up if it doesn't work and try and fix it. I might open it up and just to clean it anyway, because it is old. And I think we're on to our last two items. We'll put this off to the side. Now these two are a console that never came to the US. And I didn't even think I was going to buy one of these when I got back into gaming a few years ago. And for some reason, it struck me while I was looking around at stuff from Japan, buying the Virtual Boy. I saw these and I thought, you know what? I'm going to get one. Because it's kind of a fun little console. It's called the Wonder Swan. These are both the color version. The original version was black and white. This one has a color screen. I'm almost 100% certain it's not backlit, but it is cool. The designer of this, or one of the designers on it, I assume there was a team, but the main person attributed to this is Gunpei Yokoi, who designed or helped design the Game Boy line. The original Game Boy, I believe he was involved with the Pocket. I believe he was involved with the Color. He worked for Nintendo for a long time. And this was... Sadly, he never saw this come out. He passed before this was completed. But this was a cool thing. It runs on a single AA battery. This tray comes out, and it's a little sticky. I don't know if... Okay, see? There's a little... So, something that... I watched a ton of videos on this thing, and not a single one, mentioned this. The battery tray has a little tab that you have to pull down in order to slide the battery tray out. Not one video mentioned that. I've probably watched, 20 videos about it. So you pull that tab down. Am I blocking it with my thumb? I think I was. I wonder if you can even see that. Yeah. That tab right there. You gotta pull it down so the battery can come out. because the battery sits in this little tray. Right there. Single AA battery. That's it. It should have a pretty decent battery life. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a backlight mod on it. This one I think was listed as working, just it had scratches on the lens. This one, I can't remember if it was listed as working, and I bought this one. I bought two of them just in case one didn't work, or if I needed to salvage parts from one or the other. And also because I like to have a stock one and one that I modified. But the thing is that I know someone that collects pink consoles. And well, I mean, he might get a kick out of this. I know he doesn't have a WonderSwan. And it's a pink WonderSwan color. Arguably, this one is in better condition than the other one, than this one. The screen isn't quite as scratched up. The shell itself doesn't seem to have any sun fading on it. It seems to be the original color. This one, translucent shells like this always get kind of cloudy. It's just kind of the nature of the plastic. They all do that. I might try to peroxide it. I might also just decide to keep this shell exactly as it is and get I don't know if they're reproduction shells because they made a Final Fantasy WonderSwan, and I mean, I see a lot of people with it. I bid on a couple of them, but they all got way over what I wanted to pay for it. I didn't pay very much for these. I'm sorry, I don't remember any of the prices I paid, and if I go to look it up, it's all in yen. So I won't be able to tell you how much in dollars it was at the time. But, so these are kind of fun. They might be a project that shows up later. Got a little speaker, power, start, sound. But yeah, those are fun. I actually bought, I wonder where it is. So I bought a flash cart for the WonderSwan because most of the games aren't in English. Obviously, it never came to the US. But there are ROM hacks, and you can load the ROM hacks onto a flash cart and then play translated versions of them. So that's mainly what I was going to be using to, what I was going to play on it. So yeah, between that order coming in and building a PC, I was really excited to do a stream. I think that, I don't know what I think. I kind of lost my train of thought there. But anyway, so let's talk about what's coming, what my next thing I want to do is. So obviously I have to build this Game Boy for my coworker. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video on that. I mean, it's just a backlit Game Boy Color. There are tons of videos on it. Maybe I'll just put it as a short or something, or like an Instagram reel, or I don't know. Just a quick, like, slap it together type of deal. A YouTube short or something. I don't want to dedicate a whole video to it. I have another project that I want to do. And for that, let's go to my computer. Open a Firefox window. And we'll go... We'll go to this page. and I will pull this up. So, pinouts. In a couple of my other videos, I've made cables, RGB cables, for different consoles. I also made S-video cables for some consoles. And I recently acquired... Let me go get it. Let me go get it. I'll be right back. I'm coming. Just wait. Wait. A Dreamcast. This is another... Unlike the Virtual Boy, I never had a Dreamcast. Not even for a second. It was just something that I never got. I got the N64 for... I don't even know when I got the N64. It might have been around the time that the Virtual Boy had to go back to the store. I might have gotten the N64. I don't remember it I don't remember it as clearly as I remember getting like the GameCube. The GameCube, I had this enormous... I had a piggy bank that was a beer bottle. It was Rolling Rock, something like that. It was this big green beer bottle piggy bank, and I'm sure that it wasn't just me putting coins in it. I'm sure that my parents would walk by my room and just toss a couple coins every once in a while in there. But I had it for a long time. I don't even remember how long I had it. But I remember seeing stuff about the Dolphin Project and Nintendo Power and wanting to get a GameCube. So I remember getting the GameCube. I used all the money from that piggy bank. I'm sure I needed more. I'm sure I doubt it had enough money in it to buy a GameCube outright. But that one I remember very clearly. The N64 I don't remember as clearly. But I did not get a Dreamcast. I did get a PlayStation 1 later. I've heard stories about how that was acquired because my grandfather got it, and like we didn't have the box. I think he took it as payment because he had properties that he was renting out to just whoever needed a place to stay, and I think one person paid him with a PS1. That's something that I was told. I don't know. But I never had a Dreamcast. It was just something that I saw it at Toys R Us. I played that first level of Sonic Adventure on the demo where you're running away from the whale. But I never had a Dreamcast. I didn't have a lot of Sega systems growing up. I was strictly in the Nintendo camp and probably still am, although I'm having fun going back and collecting all the other consoles. Like I have a Game Gear, I have a Genesis. I have two Genesis. I have a Model 2 and a Model 1. But I didn't have a Dreamcast. I'm not sure if I'm going to go for a Saturn. Those are kind of pricey, and I don't know that I will play it enough to justify buying it, especially since I have the Mister, and the Mister can play all of them. But it is still fun to collect consoles, so this is my Dreamcast, and this is kind of my next project that I'm working on. So I only have RF cables for it, and that's where this comes in. I'm going to make an RGB cable, but the Dreamcast also puts out a VGA signal, like for PCs. It also puts out VGA-C, like for a RGB TV, just over a VGA cable, or a D-sub cable, if you don't want me to call it a VGA, because VGA is the protocol name, not necessarily the connector name. But I'm going to I haven't decided if I want to design my own PCB using something like this software, this Easy EDA, which I'm sure is a spyware of some kind. Where's the file? Open. No, not new project. Oh, there it is. Recover. Okay. And there goes the camera again. You know, I have it set to automatically turn the lens back on, but I guess it has to be recording and it wasn't recording. Maybe now it's recording and it'll stay on. It'll just automatically resume. We'll see. Who knows? But so let's open this. Sheet 1. Recover. I did expand the folder. Oh, these are all individual. Okay. So the last time it's saved. Recover. Okay. So this is my basic. I'm using a internal mod for the Dreamcast to design my external PCB, because you do need a special. Sega put out a cable. Obviously, they didn't put out like a box, or maybe they put out a box. Maybe it was a box. But in any case, you needed a special adapter to use VGA, and the VGA could output the VGA cables that they make now. Normally, will have a switch that you can output 420p or 480i. Some games don't work in the 420p mode, so you need the 480i mode. 420p also only works on either a enhanced definition TV or a PC monitor, because it's 420p, not 420i. Most consumer CRTs only run in 480. Was it 420? No, 420 is the other thing. 480. 480i, 480p. Wow, I said that a lot, didn't I? So it outputs it natively, but it needs an adapter box to convert it from the 31 kilohertz of a standard TV from the 15 kilohertz of a standard TV to the 31 kilohertz for a PC. But some games don't work in that, so you have to be able to use both. I was designing this cable to just be for PC CRTs, so it was only going to have the circuitry for a PC CRT at 31 kilohertz. The sync signal is separate. It's got a horizontal sync and a vertical sync. And so I had started this, and while I was looking for a way to connect the Dreamcast out connector, because I have a bunch of those, to the board, I was kind of looking for through hole, like what part of this is a through hole, what can I use to attach something, how do I space it, how do I measure it, and I figured maybe someone else has done this and I can find a PCB design. I don't need to design it myself. I mean, I can give someone else credit if I use theirs. I just need a printed PCB, because I don't want to do like a breadboard. Maybe I'll prototype it with a breadboard, but I don't want to use that for the final thing. I want it to be. And I found another one, an entire GitHub project. Do I have it bookmarked? Bookmarks. I don't think I do. I do not. I do not have it bookmarked, so I will have to search it. So, let's pull the keyboard back down. What did I search? Dreamcast VGA mod? No, that's the mod that I'm that I was basing what I was doing on. Dreamcast VGA PCB. I think that's what I searched. There it is. Here it is. So this is a project that someone else has already started, completed, really. I mean, the last commit was a year ago. But you use a Dreamcast AV plug, and on the other side is a VGA port. And then you've got a switch on the top and a switch on the bottom, and that lets you switch from C-Sync, which is going to be for 15 kilohertz or CRTs, stuff like that, to HV, which is the horizontal vertical sync. That's for PC monitors and stuff like that. And then there's also SD, which is going to put out the 480i signal, and then VGA, which is going to put out the 480p signal. And I had originally gotten the inspiration from this solder board right here, this vertical board, to connect the connector to the PCB. But I kind of debate if I should just do this project, just order these PCBs, just to have someone I know print up this housing and do it this way, because then I could make this and then just have a standard VGA cable to plug into a PC or plug into a VGA to HDMI converter to stream it to my capture card. But then I could also, when I make an RGB cable, I normally put SCART because that's what I put on the TVs when I mod the TVs. But the other end, I normally put directly onto the console style connector. But I use a VGA cable when I do that because it has enough wires inside of it to have enough to do all of it. This way, I would only have to cut one end of the VGA cable off and solder one connector on. I would just have to solder the SCART connector that goes to the TV and put all the caps and resistors in that. And I wouldn't have to cut the other end off and solder the Dreamcast connector onto it. I could just leave the VGA port and plug it in there, and it's going to output the same thing. It's going to output the C-Sync with the red, the green, the blue, and it says you can transmit the audio. They give you an audio, in this project has an audio jack on the side, so I would probably just use that just to avoid any interference on the audio going through the cable right next to the green, blue, and red. But yeah, I can't decide if I want to do this or just do the PC only cable and then have a dedicated TV cable. I mean, I'm not going to put a bowl up or anything. I'm just going to decide on my own. But I think I'm going to do this. This makes the most sense because it decreases the amount of work I have to do for the RGB cable. This is a little bit more work, but I mean, it was going to be this much work anyway. I would have had to design my own PCB. That was going to be a lot of work too. It would have been fun to learn how to do it. I might still do it, maybe just to learn on my own and not include it. But that's my next video I'm going to clean up this Dreamcast. I'm gonna make an RGB cable, I'm gonna make an S-video cable, and I'm gonna make this adapter, I guess. Probably. I'm gonna end up with this adapter. I'm gonna make this adapter, and then I won't need to make a VGA cable because this adapter will just use a VGA cord. So like my PC CRT that has the VGA built into it, it doesn't have an in-out. It's just straight out of it there's the end of the VGA cable coming off the PC, off the monitor. So I can just plug it directly into that if I want to play it on a PC monitor. And if not, I have a converter for VGA to HDMI, and I can use that. So that's my next project. I don't know. I mean, should I stream some games? Do you guys want to see games? Oh, jeez. There's a lot of people. I'm sorry, I didn't see everyone chatting. There's always room for more videos about it. Yeah? Yeah, I'm guessing you're talking about the Game Boy. Yeah, there's always more. Hi Archana. Hi Daniel. I put my N64 on layaway at Kmart on launch day and pre-ordered my GameCube at Sam Goody of all places. That's amazing. Sam Goody. I don't know that I ever shopped at Sam Goody, but I definitely saw it when I was growing up. 420's the other thing. Yup. Yes, it was. When are we getting that Seaman gameplay? I am not... Just for you. Just for you, I'll play Seaman. GB consoles. Yeah, it is really cute. This is super cute looking. This little tiny Dreamcast. Yeah, I'm not going to put a poll up. Have you done any of the 3DS capture cards? I haven't done a 3DS capture card. I didn't even do the DS capture card. I still have to revisit that. I did the macro mod, and I put the... Not that. Where is it? There it is. I did that screen switching mod, and that's kind of part of a video out mod. You can send composite out through that mod. I definitely want to revisit it, but that's for the DS or the macro. That's for the DS Lite. It's not for the 3DS. I have not looked into any of the 3DS output mods. That would be... I took apart a 3DS one time. Actually, no. I took apart a 3DS, and I took apart a new 3DS XL. And my God, those things are nightmares to open up. Absolutely crazy. Loopy has the N3 DS XL cards back in stock. I definitely killed my... Oh no, you killed your DS? Your 3DS? I hope you had more than one. They're kind of expensive. I know when Nintendo was selling the refurbished 2DS XL, the new 2DS XL, Jesus Christ, these names, the new 2DS XL, did I buy 3 of them? I bought one for me. I bought 2 of them originally. And I bought one for me, one for my cousin. I sent it off to my cousin. And then my brother wanted one. And they went back up. And as soon as they went up, I bought another one and sent it to him. But, yeah, 3D... I think the 3DS XLs and the new 3DS XLs are harder to come by. But, yeah. I mean, if broke the ribbon connector off the board, like, did you rip the cable or did the little socket that it... Well, which board did you rip it off? Did you rip it off the screen side or did you rip it off, like, at the connector where it goes into the main motherboard? Because there's 2... From what I remember, there's 2 ribbon cables that plug in at the hinge, and then they loop through the hinge, and then they go up to the top. And I feel like they both go to the screen. I know the antenna and the speakers have their own wires. That's the thing. Like, there's just so much stuff in a 3DS. You've got the two cameras in the top. I think that's what the other ribbon cable went to, was the two cameras. So you've got the two cameras, you've got the screen, you've got the 3D slider. I'm pretty sure the speakers are in it. Let me go grab one. Yeah, so you've got these two cameras, you've got two speakers, you've got another camera on the front, you've got the 3D slider, and I'm almost certain that the Wi-Fi antenna is also here. There's so much stuff going through this hinge. It is absolutely nuts. It's actually the ribbon from the bottom screen. I pulled the socket off the board. Ooh. I mean, if you broke the legs off the socket, then that's not too bad. I mean, soldering the socket on is kind of a pain, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's kind of like soldering the connector at the top of a Game Boy where the screen ribbon cable goes. I soldered one of those on my Game Boy Pocket Color, and it's not too bad. But if it tore the traces, then you've got to find a way to get the connector to stay attached to the board, and then get absolutely microscopic. You need like magnifying glasses and stuff like that to connect a tiny wire to bridge the gap where the pad ripped off. So, I mean, if you didn't rip the pads and it just ripped the legs off the socket, then it shouldn't be too hard. If you ripped the pads off the board, you might have to get a new board. I mean, yeah, if you rip the socket off the board, I mean, your best bet would just be to get another motherboard. But I mean, another motherboard, you might as well be getting another console. You might as well find one with broken screens. Yeah. Well, what should I play? Should I play something? Should I... Let's open up Steam. Here, we'll switch to this, and we'll open up Steam. Is it open already? It is. The only thing I have downloaded is Infinite. Do you guys want to see Infinite? I mean, there's how many of you are there? There's got to be like maybe one or two of you. Oh, there's two. There's two of you. I mean, I am trying to learn how to play keyboard and mouse, so I guess I could play Infinite. I'm not sure how it's going to run with the streaming software also running. I've never run a game and OBS at the same time. But also, I can just run it off the same display. I'd have to turn on the desktop audio so you guys could hear it, and I'd have to modify the audio levels. But let's do that. No preference. Yeah, let's play Halo, and you guys can watch me suffer with keyboard and mouse controls. Because I can't use the Xbox or an external console because that camera is currently going through my capture card. So if I switch to a different console, it's just going to show you that, and you won't see my face, which I guess wouldn't be too bad. But hell, let's play some Infinite on PC, and you can watch me suffer with keyboard and mouse. You know, that little box that kind of hangs out right here when it's the loading screen. I can't believe that that's still, like, they can't get the rest of the screen to be as black as that. It's kind of sad. Everything came intact from Japan as far as I can see. Obviously, I didn't test any of it tonight. I guess I could try to power on the Wonder Swans and try to power on the Game Boys. I have some double A's. But let's play a little bit. If I have time later, we'll get back to that. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Multiplayer. Let's do a bot match first. Where is it? Bot boot camp. We'll do that first. You know what I didn't do? I didn't map the two side buttons on my mouse, and I am not good at using all of these fingers at the same time. I normally am only using these two. Just bumper, trigger. Sometimes I'll use three, one for the trigger, one for the bumper, and then my thumb for the thumbstick. But using all my fingers is very confusing to me. I have not completely grasped that. Yes, you did miss the unboxing. It was Sendico. It's not sponsored. I didn't mention who it was before. I just mentioned that it was a proxy service. But yes. Have I downloaded Overwatch? I didn't download Overwatch. I'll play a couple games. It should download relatively fast, and it's free, so I don't have to worry about paying for it. I will have to spend a couple minutes logging in if I play that, because I've never logged in on a PC. I've only ever played on the Xbox, so. Here we go. TF2. You got to be more specific than that. Was it Titanfall 2 or Team Fortress 2? I know, but nobody else knows. Match starting. Oh, I never turned on the audio. Jeez. Here we go. Alright, let's turn that way down, though, because we don't need to deafen everybody. Alright, if the audio's good, let me know. Mark, I ordered mine like 2 months ago, and I made the mistake of choosing the cheaper option for shipping. I didn't use DHL or FedEx or anything like that. It was like the Japan Post one. Oh my god, man. I don't think anyone assumes Titanfall 2. Some people might. But yeah, you're right. Team Fortress 2 was what most people probably think about. I like that they added cross-core. What? Oh, there we go. I like that they added cross-core for all the helmets. Why am I so far from my team? I went away from my team. That's the opposite of what you're supposed to do. I think I've landed one shot. Man, it's a good thing that's a bot, because if not, I'd be absolutely melted. Yeah. Yeah. If I was playing against actual people. Oh. Yeah, walking with joysticks is weird to me. Or walking with keys. It's a good thing they're bots, because I would get absolutely rocked. Oh. Wow, I am trash. Oof, first time I died. Yeah, AliExpress got a busted N64 from Sendico earlier this year and replaced the analog stick. That's good. I like doing that with oh yeah, let's absolutely embarrass myself with this. I like fixing 64 controllers. Oh. I like fixing 64 controllers. I fixed a couple of them. Yeah, an embarrassing no-scope, but a no-scope nonetheless. Nice. That was actually a decent shot. I mean, I was barely moving, and so were they, but a win's a win. Out of ammo. Need something. See, I don't... God. Oh god, I didn't have a pistol. That was bad. I'm still stuck in the 90s when it comes to original Doom. Wow. I played a little bit of that when I first got the Series X. I downloaded the like Doomslayer collection on Game Pass when I had a Game Pass subscription, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I only played it for like maybe a couple hours. I did play Doom, not like when it was current, but I played Doom a little bit in the 2000s, I think. But the first Doom, I didn't play 3 or anything like that. I played through a little bit of Doom 2016, probably like 4 or 5 levels, but there's just so many. I was in the middle of. I have so many games I want to play because I spent like a generation and a half not playing any video games. I played, like, when the Wii U came out, I played Skyward Sword on it in Wii mode. I played Mario Kart 8. I played the Pikmin 3. I played Nintendo Land. People hate on Nintendo Land. Nintendo Land was good. I don't care what anybody says. But yeah, the Nerf bullet. I got that with the. I have the AR Nerf gun, the motorized one, and it came with a code for that. It came with a skin, and I ran the skin for a little while, but it's kind of like meh. It's an okay skin. Dude, Nintendo Land, like, it's not the best game on the Wii U, but it is definitely in, at least for me, my top 5. Granted, I only play like 5 games, but it's in my top 5. I thought it was really good. What was I even talking? Oh, the generation that I missed. So I played that on the 3DS. I basically played Link Between Worlds, the Pokemon games, and that might have been it. That might have been all I played on the 3DS. I had a DS, and I played Bowser's Inside Story. I played the Sticker Star on the 3DS. I really like Sticker Star. I know people hated it, but once again, a lot of people put a lot of hate out there for games. They're just fun. Like, is it the greatest game of all time? No, but I mean, I had fun playing it. Same thing with movies. Like, when people walk out of a movie theater and say they didn't like that it was a bad movie, I have a hard time. Like, there's been like 2 movies in my whole life that one I didn't finish watching, and the other one I watched the whole thing and I thought that was bad. Most of the time, I had fun. I enjoyed that. It's weird. It's in the, yeah. I've played more since then. I've played more Wii U games. But there are just so many games that I want to play. Halo I had to play. I replayed all of them when I got back into gaming. Twice. So, like I was saying, I didn't play a lot of, I played Doom 2016, kind of dipped my toe in. I wanted to play Halo. I got on this kick when I got the Switch to start playing. A big realization I had, like, after the 3rd or 4th Pokemon game that I played, I realized I was playing RPGs. Like, for some reason, I was so young when the first one came out that they were just Pokemon games to me. It didn't click in my head that I was playing RPGs. So when I got the Switch, I started playing more RPGs, and I decided I wanted to work my way through the Final Fantasy series. But I didn't want to start on the old ones. And this isn't like recently. This was in 2017 maybe. I started with 7, the 7 remaster on Switch. Played 7, played 8. Originally I skipped 9 because I felt like I don't know. I felt like I didn't want to play 9. I really, really loved 8. Like, 8 might be my favorite PS1 trilogy Final Fantasy. Then I played 10, played 10-2. I had fun with 10. 10-2 was fun, but it was definitely a slog. There were parts of it that I kind of trudged through. I went back and played 9. 9 by far took me the longest in terms of time, not gameplay itself, but in terms of the amount of time it took me to finish it was the longest because I put it down several times because I just kept falling asleep. I know a lot of people love Final Fantasy IX. I kept falling asleep. It didn't grab me. Like, I finished it, but I'm not sure if I would revisit it again, like if a remaster came out or anything like that. I then started 11's the online one. I didn't want to touch that. So I started 12. And this is after having, because I was playing it 2 a.m. It's just too old for Pokemon when Red and Blue came out. I mean, Pokemon's a good RPG if you don't like dealing with stats and equipment. You can just kind of like fly through it. Especially the first gen, you can basically just level up your starter and not do anything else, and you will absolutely steamroll everybody. Another one that's fun to play, another RPG that you don't have to worry. If you want to do extra stuff, you gotta worry about it. Like if you want to take on like extra bosses. But Xenoblade Chronicles 1, it's a different style of battle system than most RPGs. It's similar to Final Fantasy 12 actually, which is why I wanted to play Final Fantasy 12 because I had really enjoyed Xenoblade Chronicles 1. The Final Fantasy 12 anyway. Back to that. So I was playing that and I was making good progress. I forgot what distracted me, but something distracted me and I put it down. It might have been making videos. I might have gotten distracted making videos and that's why I stopped playing 12. And then Tears of the Kingdom came out and I completely put 12 down and I put videos on hold for a while too. I still haven't finished it, but I'm still playing. And I just get distracted so easily. Like I've got 2 bags, maybe 3 bags full of components, a Pico, resistors, inverters to do a Gajuino. I guess it's not a Pico, it's an Arduino. A Gajuino, which is you're modifying an espresso machine to have temperature control and all this stuff. And I thought I would make it as like an April Fool's video and like completely change up the content on the channel, like to be coffee for April Fools. I just got so distracted with what I was doing and never ever got around to it. Yeah, it is the worst. Xenoblade, you should definitely give a shot. I really like it. the definitive edition looks really good, and it runs good on the Switch. So if you have a Switch, that's the one to play. If you want to play it on the Wii U, you can buy... Well, you can't. Oof. You could acquire the Wii version digitally for the Wii U if you hack your Wii U. That's how I started playing it, and then they announced the remaster, and I was probably like... I think I was 40 plus hours in, and they announced the remaster, and I put that on hold and bought the remaster when it came out, and I replayed that 40 hours and then played through the rest of it. I really enjoyed it. It was good. The remaster makes it a lot more fun. It makes doing side quests way easier because the mini-map is upgraded. Yeah. Let's play another match. Start matchmaking. Another bot match. Another bot match. I don't need to get absolute... Because the skill-based matchmaking, I play with controller, so it's mostly based on that. I'd get absolutely smoked. I've thought about hacking my Switch once the next one comes out and I get that. Or, side note, what if I hack it when the new one comes out and I don't get the new one, and I have the RetroTink 4K upscaling the output from the Switch that I overclock by hacking. I hack it, overclock it just a little bit, and then upscale with the RetroTink 4K up to, on this screen it'll be 1440p. On the streams it'll still be 1080p. But yeah, I wanted to see what that would look like. Since the upscaling's happening outside, it's not going to really affect the Switch too much. We'll see. Yeah, that's another thing, modding my only Switch, and it's the one that I bought. I didn't buy it launch here. I bought it like a year after launch. I don't know. I waited because I wasn't playing games at the time. And then eventually the FOMO of playing the newest Zelda, and I didn't want to play it on the Wii U. It caught up, and I just had to get it. Here we go. Make a run. Is there anybody over here? We'll drop down so they can't see me here. I don't know how to sprint. Well, that didn't do it. Nope. C is just another grenade. Do I need to go melee this guy? See, I gotta figure out how to sprint. Alright, so that's the homing, not the homing, but the scan. How do I sprint? I know Q is equipment. Am I the... Oh. No, I'm not the only one. Oh, nope, not that way. I really need to figure out what sprint is. V? Nope, that's to drop it. Don't want to do that. Jeez. Is there anybody here? I bet my team is wondering, why is he not sprinting? It's because I don't know how. Maybe shift? It's shift! I figured it out, guys! I got it. Okay, somebody else grabbed the flag, so I'll stay here and fend off attackers if any show up. Moving is definitely not my strong suit, and also not knowing the controls is probably not great. So I guess I can use C to do grenades as well as G. I guess C's closer. So melee, grenade, no, this is to pick up. Z I think was to drop. So I dropped with Z. You pick up or swap weapons with E. Reload with R. Equipment is on Q. Let's see. Do I want to risk getting demolished? Man, playing Tax Slayer on keyboard and mouse against other people that are used to playing on keyboard and mouse. Let's do the new maps. How bad could I possibly be? Now that I know C is grenade and it's closer than G, I kind of wish E would reload as well as switch, kind of like it does on the controller. I should just plug in. I don't know why I'm not just plugging in the controller. It's a Microsoft controller. It just plugs in. But I feel like I should learn to use the keyboard and mouse. We'll see. Time is it? Should probably get going soon. Should probably go to bed. Tell you what, I'll do this match. Then depending on how it goes, I'll do one more, either this or another bot match if this goes really, really badly. And then I'll set Overwatch 2 to download, and go to bed. How's that? It does also have Bluetooth. It's technically a Series S controller, because I bought so when I was playing on the Xbox One, the controller got wonky. It was like loose. So I decided to buy a new controller instead of buying the whole console at first. And I bought a white controller. And it's just a white Series controller, that's all. Yeah, that was bad. My fingers moved, and I was throwing a grenade instead of moving. Hey, I got him from the grave. It's something. Alright, gotta stay with my team, because if not, even on controller, I would get destroyed. It's Halo. You gotta be with your team. Okay, it's not going too bad. Man, he got me with a shotgun from that far away? It does have Bluetooth. I could just connect it that way. But the latency. The latency. I mean, I don't play wired on the Xbox, so. Where did... There he is. Oh god. Oh god. Yep. That's what happens when you're not good at movement and they're tossing grenades. You just get stuck on something and then blows up. Headshot. I also don't know how to check the team stats, which I probably shouldn't. It's not gonna look good for me. It's definitely between my brain and the keyboard. The controller is not the problem. Oh my god, I switched. I switched! Oh, here we go. Embarrass myself. I gotta map the, let's see, probably melee and something else. Maybe jump to these secondary buttons on my mouse, because flicking over for melee on movement, on a movement finger, flicking over to melee is not ideal. Oof. That sniper was waiting for me to cross that hallway. It's not going to be that crazy. And also, my Mario Kart button mapping is not that crazy. All I did was put the accelerator on the shoulder button. It's not that serious. It makes sense. God. My toes. It makes sense in Mario Kart. Trust me. It's the way it... Listen, I keep up with this guy right here. And he plays so much. Way too much. I keep up with him. I can't beat him, but I keep up with him. With his 6-digit. Should have seen that coming. With his 6-digit score on Mario Kart. Should have gone for the melee. Instead, I went to switch. Rez? Like the rhythm game? I've only played Rez Infinite on the PS5. It's the PS4 version, but I played it on the PS5. Oh, back up, back up, back up. I kind of wish I was good enough to get second place in the lobbies he races in. The lobbies that Daniel races in is nuts. I cannot play inverted on FPS. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are absolutely nuts. Once I get in a plane or a vehicle, yes, it's inverted. 100%. But the character inverted, no. Third person, yes. Third person all the way. Gears, third person. Splatoon, I think, is inverted. Do I play inverted on Splatoon? I'll have to double check on that. But like first person, it cannot be. I can't even play like Ocarina of Time when you zoom in and you're looking. I can't have that inverted. That messes with me. I don't know how you play inverted. All right. How do I look at my... Tell you what. Let's go to settings. Okay. Scoreboard. I mean... Okay, I did worse than the worst person on the opposing team. But... I also am playing on keyboard and mouse, which I've never done before, so at least I didn't have 0 kills. That's weird that someone told you that inverted was the cool way to play, because I feel like I remember being told the opposite, that the way that makes the most sense and is the cool way is non-inverted, so that when you go up, it's up on the screen. And it makes more sense on mouse. Like, if you played inverted with a mouse, that would be absolutely wild. On a stick, it makes sense. I can see it happening. I can't do it, but I understand that the way you're envisioning the stick is on the back of the character's head. So when you pull down on the back of the character's head, it looks up. And when you push forward on the back of the character's head, it looks down. As opposed to the joystick being on the front of the character's face, and you pushing up to go up and down to go down. I get it. On a joystick, I can see how it makes sense. A mouse, if you play inverted on mouse, there's a high possibility you're a serial killer. Maybe. I was the person? What do you mean the... I was the one that told you inverted people play... That's because that's how I originally played Halo. And I was trying to convince you that I was cool. Maybe that's what happened. Because I'm almost certain that someone told me the opposite shortly after playing Halo. Like when Halo 2... When Halo 2... multiplayer, when we started playing that, I remember someone telling me they saw me playing inverted and they told me that I was playing wrong, that it makes more sense the other way and your response time will be faster playing the other way. And I didn't switch then, but I switched later. I still played all of Halo 2 inverted originally back in the day. I can't remember what the first game I played. It wasn't 3. It may have been 4. It may have been Halo 4. Because Halo was basically the only shooter I played until recently. So it may have been Halo 4 that I first played non-inverted. It was how all the old school games. That's Doom, GoldenEye. I remember GoldenEye was inverted, I believe. If it wasn't inverted, that's how I said it. Or that's how... I didn't have it growing up, so that's how our cool cousin that had it said it to inverted. And... if I was playing Halo on an inversion table, looking at the TV upside down, would you play regular or inverted? GoldenEye was inverted? Okay, yeah. I thought I remembered that. Um, if I was upside down, would I play regular or inverted? I think I would still play regular. I haven't been upside down in quite a long time. Like, I'm upside down sometimes when I'm working on cars, but there's no, like, the thing I'm looking at doesn't have an up and a down. Up and down is only the perspective I have. Like, a TV's different. TVs have an up and a down. A connector doesn't, like a computer sitting in a jammed up into a console doesn't have like an up and a down per se. I would say I still had to play regular. Definitely. Okay. That didn't go too bad, but I don't know if I have time to play another match because the matches are definitely it was only 12 minutes long. I feel like the bot match took longer. I'll play another bot match. I'll tell you what. I'm going to plug in my controller and I'll play a tack match. Tack matches are normally pretty fast. Let's see. Do I have a USB-C to USB-C cable? I do. I just have to get it out. Just so I don't have to fool with setting up the Bluetooth, because I haven't done it yet. Okay. Good. It automatically switched. Trying to think. Let's go to settings. Button layout. Okay, zoom, throw grenade, use equipment, switch weapon, crouch, jump, reload, switch grenade. I think the only thing I switched from this was dropping a weapon. I got rid of the AI scan. Yeah, I got rid of the AI scan and I put the down on the D-pad as my drop weapon because holding the switch weapon button, like, it makes it dropping the flag takes too long. Listen, all I do is overthink all the time. When I take a shower, I overthink every video that I want to make, whatever video I'm currently making. Showers take an hour and a half because I sit there thinking about the intro for a video. It's ridiculous. Alright. Hopefully I don't get put in a pool of only keyboard and mouse players while I'm playing on controller, but we'll see. Here we go. Brains are jerks. They are. So what was your guys' favorite console from the unboxing? I know, Mark, I know you didn't get to see it, but I got a Wonder Swan. I got two of them, but I got a Wonder Swan, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Virtual Boy. Really excited about this one. Really excited about this one. And Lights Out. I think we all know which one is the best one. Lights Out. Yeah, I'll do I'm not gonna do. Well, I guess I don't know if I'm gonna do a mod video on the Swans, but if I don't do a mod video, I will definitely do a highlight video on like using the flash cart and getting the translated ROMs and stuff like that. I never had it growing up. The Lights Out. It was definitely something that I saw at a cousin's house, and I played it once. And why that's a core memory that stuck out, who knows? Who knows why the brain picks core memories? But it's definitely one. Oh, here we go. Match starting. You know, I didn't turn on the overlay so you guys could see. Well, I guess it's not important. You don't need to know how many frames I'm doing. So you've got the WonderSwan library on your analog pocket, but did you download the translated version of some of those games? Because there are translations. I will, after this match, I have a bookmark set for where to get the translated ROMs, and I will drop that in the chat if you need it. Oh, okay, you've got the translations? Okay. Oh! One time I didn't check that corner. Dude, that analog... Oh, that analog N64... I don't think that's going to be for me. I didn't buy a Pocket either. I thought about it. I thought about it a lot when it got announced. I feel like it took so long to show up that I just decided that I was not going to do it. And as far as the N64 one, man, I'm gonna get a, you know, I saw him die and I kept walking. I'm gonna get the RetroTink 4K, which arguably is probably gonna be more. Aw, I should have had that one. The RetroTink 4K is arguably going to cost more than the console. I would assume. I would hope. if the console costs more than a RetroTink 4K, then it's an easy choice. You should get the RetroTink. But the RetroTink will work for more consoles at one time. So it feels like a better value, at least for me, for my situation. The Analog 64, yeah, it would be great, but the Analog 64 would be great, but the narrow focus of it. Like, I already have the HDMI 64, and I could, if I wanted, I could use that one and hook it up to the HDMI in that the Tink 4K is gonna have, and that would be 480p upscaled to whatever I set the RetroTink to. The console from Analog, I mean, it might natively put out 4K, but once again, it's only the one console. Like, I don't know. The Ultra HDMI is definitely a nice mod. I've never seen it in person, and I did not have the opportunity to buy one. They are kind of expensive and also kind of hard to find, or at least they were. I'm not sure if they are now. I haven't looked since I bought the 64 HD. That guy, either he was toying with me or he's as bad as I am. How do you like the Ultra HDMI? Like, how much better is it? Does it look really good? Or is it just like, well, here's my N64, but it's on HDMI? Last groups before all that went poorly. Yeah, I mean, listen, S video on like a 13-inch CRT, it looks like Rogue Squadron. Oof. Through S video on a small CRT, looks so good. It really does. It looks... So you know how you remember things looking better than they were? It looks better than I remember it looking. That's how good it looks through S-Video on a small CRT. I feel like I was going to talk about that in my N64 video, and I decided it kind of like got away from the point of the video. Alright. Well, that'll be my last match of the night, because I do have a day job. I do work in the morning. But let's exit the desktop. Where do I download Overwatch? Do I download it on Steam? Restart Steam. It's on Steam. Okay. Set this to download. Play. What is it? Stream? Play game. Ah, you still have to install it. Okay. Let's create a desktop shortcut. No start menu. Install. I'm glad you enjoyed that Pocket Color video. That was a lot of fun to do. Like I saw those boards pop up on Reddit. Like I don't know if I was in the first batch he made, but I was definitely like early when he was doing only the black boards. He wasn't doing the multicolor ones yet. And man, I learned a lot about soldering doing that. Wow, it finished installing Overwatch already. I had a lot of fun doing that mod and learning. And then the second one I did, in the comments, someone recommended using solder paste. And I looked it up and bought it. And it made it, man, like so much faster to solder that way. I was doing like 3 or 4 components at a time. Put the paste down with the solder that's infused into it. Put maybe 5 things down. Get the heat gun, the solder station, the hot air station, and do like 4 or 5 components at a time. Easy. That's like, I'll definitely be using that for that Dreamcast adapter. I think I've decided I'm gonna do the switching adapter because it just makes the most sense. Like, I don't need to spend all that time learning how to make a PCB, then ordering the PCB, then designing a 3D housing for it, then getting the 3D housing made. There's not a whole lot of reason to do that. Well, if you were here today, thanks for watching. Mark, Daniel, Nate. It was a lot of fun. I was really looking forward to getting that box. I was not expecting it so early. I had been checking it a lot, and I didn't do the math properly. Like I knew it was not 60, it was 90 to 120 days, but I didn't do the math right. And for some reason I thought I was going to be getting it in like a month and a half. So like for the past month and a half, the past month, I have been refreshing the page. The tracking info won't update. I'm freaking out. Is it ever going to come? Did it get lost in shipping? You have a feeling I'm going to do both? I might do both. I don't know. You know what I might design a PCB for the espresso machine. Maybe that's what I'll do, because originally I was going to put that together with breadboards for some of the power stuff that you've got to solder a bunch of individual components into a string. Maybe I'll design a PCB for that, and that's how I'll learn to do a PCB. Because that's one thing I want to do that I kind of enjoy doing on my channel is learning something new, like learning to do the firmware update on the 64 HD. Man, was that a pain in the butt, but I think it was worth it. If you're watching this after the fact, thanks for watching. I don't know how you made it this far, because this is already... How long is this? Where is it? Stream health? I don't know how long it is, but it feels like 100 and... Thank you, Mark. or Daniel. 115 minutes. If you made it this far watching after the fact, kudos. I mean, slow clap. Thank you so much. And I'll see you.